Hello everyone, this is Dr. Jolle Kirpensteijn and I'm super excited to be able to tell you that I will be starting a new podcast. It's called Veterinary Surgery Podcast. And this podcast will talk mainly about veterinary surgery. As you know, I am a veterinary surgeon. I am a boarded diplomat of the American and European College of Veterinary Surgery, and I'm super excited to start this podcast. I have two other podcasts. The first one is the Per podcast. Do it together with Dr. Susan Little. It's all about cats, and we discuss the latest and the greatest in cat news. And we have together also a podcast that is called the Cat Cafe podcast, which is really focused on the cat client. The Per podcast is mainly for the veterinary healthcare team, and the Cat Cafe podcast is mainly for the client. So why am I starting another podcast? It's not because I don't have anything to do, but I do feel that there is very little information online right now about veterinary surgery, and there's no podcast that is solely about veterinary surgery. So what will I do in this podcast? I probably will talk with some people that are veterinary surgeons, and I will do some interviews to talk about hot topics. I will review articles that I read, and then I'm working on a big project that I'm very happy to talk to you about. As a matter of fact, I'm working on two projects. One is that I'm working on The Cutting Edge, which is a basic surgery book. So I'll probably use this podcast to talk about basic surgery and explain a little bit what I am, working at, the chapters that I'm writing or the chapters that other people have written. Next to that, I'm working on the second version of my book, Reconstructions Technique in Small Animals, together with Dr. Gert de Haar and Dr. Bryden Stanley, and I'm super excited about that too. So I'll keep you informed about these new books that are coming out and about surgery news. I hope you're all following the Global Veterinary Surgery Facebook page. We also have an Instagram account called Global Veterinary Surgery, or at GVETSX, and hopefully you will get quite a lot of information there too. So this is just an addition of all the things that I'm already doing online, and I think social media is a great media to reach more people. And I hope you will subscribe to this podcast. You can do that very easily through almost all platforms: iPhone, Android, iHeartRadio. And so I'm really excited about this podcast, and it's going to be good. I'm excited. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do yet, but it will be interesting if you're interested in veterinary surgery. I already have a couple of people in mind that I'm going to interview. I also know that we will discuss some techniques, and it's not only going to be soft tissue or oncology, but also about orthopedics. And just to give a little bit of background of my own career, I started at the University of Utrecht as a student. Then I did an externship in the University of Georgia for 7 months during small animal medicine and surgery. Went back to Utrecht, finished my vet school, and then I applied for an internship at the University of Georgia. Was accepted, so I did a wonderful internship at the University of Georgia in Athens, Georgia. Then I applied for a residency, which I received from Kansas State University, and I did a master's degree at the same time. So I had 3 years at Kansas State, and then I did a oncology fellowship with Dr. Steve Withrow at Colorado State University. After all that, I passed my boards in the US, and I decided to go back to Holland, where I became an assistant professor in surgery, slowly climbed the ranks to associate professor in surgery. I did a PhD on osteosarcoma during that time. Then I became professor at the University of Copenhagen of the Department of Life Sciences. And after 3 years, I also became professor at Utrecht University. And not to stop there, but about 6 years ago I decided I needed a little bit of change of life and pace, and I became the Chief Professional Relations Officer for Hill's Pet Nutrition, and currently I'm the Chief Veterinary Officer, Hill's US. So it's quite a story, but I'm still surgeon in mind and heart, still try to read as much as I can, discuss as much as I can, and hopefully you will like this podcast. So probably next week or early this week or late this week we will have the first one, and I hope you enjoy it. Subscribe, like the podcast, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for listening.